Hello, everyone. Welcome. Don't mind me, just limbering up, cracking my knuckles. Welcome to a new segment we're doing on the channel. This is Confession Counseling, and I talked about this in a previous video when I was going over becoming a full-time content creator. But since you all are here, so confession counseling is something that I'm starting to kind of give advice to any of my audience members that are feeling lost or struggling with a particular situation that maybe they want a little more insight, maybe they want to share their experience with other people in case other people are going through the same thing, etc., etc. Basically, just walking through some of the basic fundamentals, just depending on what the situation is. You know, it could be, you know, relationship issues, parent issues, household issues, money trouble, mental health, you know, stuff like that. What are my pronouns? She, her, or they, them. Either is fine. I am female, so, I think I have something for that. Let's see. Where did I put it? Now I don't remember. Let me see. Why did you want to start confession counseling? Are people able to call in? So call-ins are, I'm not going to say no to the call-ins, but it's not something we're doing at this time. So let me open my Discord here. So in the Discord server, if you're a member of the Discord server, I have a channel for, it's called the Confession Room, and you can use the anonymous bot that's in that channel to, you know, if you want to submit anonymously, if you don't want people knowing that it's you, or maybe you're just not ready to be open about it yet, or you can just talk. You don't need to use the bot if you don't want to, but the bot is there. So here is the Discord server link. If you are not a member of the Discord server, feel free to come in. But yes, like I said, I wanted to start this just because I have a lot of people in my DMs like, I don't know what to do, I need help, XYZ blank blank blank. And it's like, I don't always, well, back when I had a job, when I used to have a job, I was just so busy and I couldn't get to all of those people. And, you know, sometimes I wasn't seeing their DMs sometimes, and it was just hard to keep up with all of it. That now I feel like having a designated time and a designated space for people to put those types of things, I can get to them in an organized and timely fashion, is definitely going to be a better option compared to just getting DM'd in the middle of the night. So let me get rid of that. There we go. just wow. Okay, well, anyway, so let's start. So far, I've made this announcement a couple weeks ago, and I've trying to been keeping it active so that people see it and people are aware, and people can submit topics if they want to submit topics. And so we have two topics to talk about. I don't want to say topics, as much two submissions, I guess. Two submissions. Do you feel like keeping up with everyone's confessions that grieve and worry them might negatively affect your mental health? Do you feel responsible to do this? I wouldn't necessarily say responsible, because I am not responsible for other people. So let me just make that clear. As a content creator on the internet, I do not hold responsibilities to my viewers other than, hey, be a general morally upright individual. Don't fuck dogs. Great. That's always good. But back when the Nora the Wolf situation happened, I was quite literally a beacon for a lot of victims and a lot of survivors of abuse, and not just, not to be graphic, but sexual abuse. Lots of minors who were struggling with the concept of being groomed by other individuals. And so, and did that affect me and my mental health? Yes, it did. And that's only because that was my main focus for weeks at a time. I was not sleeping because I was helping victims and, pointing them in the right direction and helping them with their struggles, and also trying to collect as much information and as much evidence about this Nora character as possible. And so when I say having a designated time and a designated space, this is what I mean. Because when the Nora situation happened, I couldn't get to everybody. And then I was like, oh my God, what if that person really needed help? And so, yeah, designated time, designated space. That's the way to go, for sure. Diornick, what? I don't know what you're saying. Anyway, so this was the first submission. This individual says, I've come to terms with the fact that I've been emotionally and mentally abused, and I don't know how to open up. I feel like I'm wrapped in barbed wire. Okay, so personally, and now here's a fun little disclaimer. I'm not a therapist. Not sure if you guys knew that. No, I'm not a licensed therapist. I can only give my best advice based off of my own personal experiences and my own personal moral judgment. So if you're ever like, oh, I'm doing this because that's what she said to do, don't. I mean, unless obviously it's like, hey, go see a therapist, then maybe you should go see a therapist. So, this is always hard. Emotional and mental abuse don't always, you don't always see them at their face. You don't always see them for what they are in the beginning. You just know that it's not right. And this can be, this is difficult for both children and adults. Just because when it comes to mental and emotional health, the education system does lack. And it's unfortunate that we have to rely on people who have had to go through all of this shit to be like, yeah, no, that's bad. They shouldn't be doing that to you. But you know, the world, society doesn't view mental health as an important aspect, so it's not taught. And it's I don't want to say maybe not taught, but maybe overshadowed by things that people think are more relevant. So you don't get proper resources, you don't get proper education, and then people are kind of like, I don't know what that is, when we all should. So it's so, you know, part of the title is about healing, coming to terms with being emotionally and mentally abused. So that's step one, if that makes sense. It's a process that goes through in steps, and the process is never linear. It's never a straight line. It's going to be hard, it's going to be confusing, and it's going to be frustrating. Healing is a journey, and healing, you never actually stop. You know, it's not like a switch, like you wake up one day and go, oh, I'm so much better. I'm better now. Everything's great. That never happened. This is perfect. I'm better. That will never happen. That will never happen. Healing is something people do continuously for the rest of their lives. And it's, you know, crossing that first step, coming to terms with, this is what this is, and now I know that this is what it is, so what's next? Okay, so let me open a little text box here. Make that text a little smaller. You're also gonna find out that I can't spell, but we'll do our best. So we got number 1. Coming to terms with your abuse. So let's stick that up there. So coming to terms with your abuse, I would say, is step 1. The next thing I would do is, can this be solved, or does it need to go, if that makes sense? So is the abuse, these fucking caps, abuse solvable? Okay, and so the reason I ask this question is because, you know, do you know where your abuse is coming from? What's causing it? Who's causing it? Why are they causing it? You know, if you have narcissistic parents, or, you know, an abusive spouse or lover or whoever, roommate, you know, if you're in a space that you feel comfortable enough to ask them, hey, can we talk about this? It's bothering me. I don't like when you do these things. It's harmful for my mental health. It doesn't make me feel good. You know, why is it that you're doing these things, saying these things, acting this way? You know, if that's something you can do, try seeing if the abuse is solvable. It could be possible that they're not doing it intentionally. But, you know, just because they don't do it intentionally doesn't mean it's not abuse. So if you're in a safe environment where you can address these things, then yeah, feel free to address it. Just be like, hey, I don't like when you do that. And if shit gets crazy, then you know you gotta go. Okay? What was my other job? I did security. So let me make this a little bigger. Okay. So of course from this path you have two options. You have two possible paths here. So path number 1. Whoa. Rude. Okay, that's enough out of you. Because I need to select the arrow again. That's so goofy. And option number 2. So from here, let's create some little boxes here. Do you have to use the confession chat in Discord? Preferably, you know, if we're talking about stuff like this, or, you know, something that you want to be discussed on the channel, then yes, put it in that channel or in that chat. So make that smaller. Okay. So if the abuse is solvable, I would say figure out why this person is, or this individual, or, you know, whatever. Typically abuse is caused by somebody else. So so figure out why. Okay. So let's, you know, if it's solvable, figure out why they're doing it. And then so here's another thing. So just because, let's say, you know, if the abuse can be resolved, do they want to? Do they want to fix it? Do they want to change? Do they want to make this better? Those would be the things that I would ask next. So, are they willing to change? And so, you know, from that, you know, that's a yes or no question. So if the answer is no, then, you know, goodbye. You need to leave. If the answer is yes, you know, work on, let's see, let me, if yes, seek a professional. So, you know, and this kind of comes back into the why. You know, if they don't know, you know, if they don't know why this is happening, or if they don't know why they're doing this, then they're going to need professional help to figure it out. You know, they're going to need to do a little bit of soul searching, a little bit of deep diving, you know, whatever kind of personality conflicts is going on, they need to figure it out. And that is not your responsibility. Let's make that clear. So make this a little smaller. Add another little text box. And we'll say you are not responsible for them. They need to be able to do it on their own. If they can't do it on their own, then that's just, you know, that's not the tea, sister. That comes down to one of two things. That's going to come back to the, oh, are they willing to change? They said yes, but now they're not showing me that they're changing, which means no, which means goodbye. Does that make sense? So I'm trying my hardest to kind of keep this organized and, you know, not as confusing. I'm hoping the little diagrams are helping. Oh, what is it? Control? There it is. Hi. Hi, welcome to the stream. Let's put this over here. Okay. So, your second path is obviously leaving. They don't want to change. They don't see why this is affecting you negatively. They don't think, you know, what they're doing is wrong, or maybe they just like doing it to you. You will get that sometimes. That will and can happen. So time to go, cut it off, peace out, you know? So from here, if you need to cut this person off, from here is when your healing journey starts. You have taken the second step, getting out. So healing looks different for everybody, and the steps are not always the same, and they do not always go in order. You know, people will experience the 7 stages of grief. How the fuck do you spell grief? There you go. People will experience the 7 stages of grief. This is normal. And that's just being, you know, being able to understand and being able to, you know, say, did I do the right thing? Of course, the answer is yes. Because I'll tell you something, if it's good for you, then yes. I'm just thinking. Healing is not linear. Let me... Oh, shoot. Let me fix that. There. I like that. Okay. So when I mean healing is not linear, it's not a straightforward process. You're gonna have your ups, and you're gonna have your downs, and you're going to have some days that are kind of in the middle. You know, you're not going to be 100% every single time. You will feel like shit for the majority of this process. So, but understand that feeling like shit is normal. And there's nothing wrong with you for feeling that way. And understand that these times will pass, but also know that they're not gone. This will continue to happen. Because another thing about abuse is that it causes something called trauma. Okay. And trauma looks different for everybody. Trauma is different for everyone. So, you know, there's different types of trauma: sexual, emotional, physical, mental. There's another one I'm forgetting. That's okay. And so when you're coming to terms with abuse, you're also coming to terms that you have trauma. And trauma does not go away. Let's just make that clear. Trauma does not disappear. Social? We could put social trauma in there. Oh, maybe a capital S would be good. There you go. So, trauma does not disappear. You will have trauma for the rest of your life. That sucks. It really does. But being able to go, this is what I have, this is what I'm dealing with, and I'm working on it. Are you working on it? And if you are, how are you working on it? Whoops, if I can spell. You know, when we have trauma, there are going to be different types of people and how they handle that trauma. There are people that may need to kind of let it fester for a while. Festering isn't healthy, but that is something that happens. And you know, if you're dealing with really difficult, heavy-hitting trauma, you can't just fight back. You know, it is something that will consume you. So understand that if you are being consumed, you need to break a cycle. So, break the cycle. Put that in quotations here. Yeah. You need to break the cycle. Why? What is causing you to relive this trauma so negatively? What do you know your triggers? What's happening? Why did it happen? So, get familiar with your triggers. Understand that your trauma is not going to go away, but there are things you can do to manage it by getting familiar with your triggers. So, what triggers your trauma? Figuring this out is going to really help when you're on this journey of healing. Diagnosed with severe PTSD, I was told just not think about it, and it's an awful feeling to hear that my peers, that my peeps who are supposed to support you. Definitely not the greatest advice. You know, to sit down with somebody and be like, I'm struggling, and then for them to look you in the face and go, oh, well, just don't worry about it. Literally, eat a dick, okay? This is my, this is my life. This is what I'm going through. I can't just not think about that. Now it's a part of me, okay? And that's another thing. Your trauma is now a part of you. But don't let it define you. I hate when those little red lines come up because I didn't put a fucking apostrophe. Okay. Triggers change. This is also true. Your triggers can change. What? Why? There's no E in can. Change. My fingers move too fast for my brain. Okay. Triggers can change. I'm an introvert, so society often causes me stress. That's why I stay home. That is true. That does happen. Social anxiety is probably what I would call that. Let's put anxiety. Wait, that's not how you spell anxiety. Jesus. I'm stupid. Okay. And then just gonna put this over here. Okay, good. So, let's see. Give me that. Give me my text box. So, let's talk about what can help. And now, what helps you is not going to be the same thing that helps somebody else. What helps that person is not going to be the same thing that helps you. So just, if somebody's like, oh, well, I've dealt with something similar like that, and I did this, and now I feel great. Okay, that's awesome. Happy for you. And you can try it if you'd like. Nothing's gonna stop you from trying it. So, yeah, try different things. There we go. Let's see. What helps someone else may not be right for you. Just gonna make that a little smaller so we can see it. Oh, being covered up by chat. We'll just turn that off for now. It's fine. I can still see everybody's messages. It's just not on the stream, so it'll be fine. So trying different things. So, I mean, if you're unfamiliar with this feeling and you are absolutely stuck and you don't know what to do and you don't know how to make yourself feel better, start with the very, 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 very basic things. You know, like, obviously, if you're taking medications, don't stop taking your medications. You need those. Take your meds. Let me disclose if you're on meds. If you're not taking medication, figure out if taking medication is right for you. Now, this is obviously going to have to be consulted by a therapist. A therapist will have to prescribe you a medication, depending on what it is. Key thing, keep looking for the solution that helps you, not just some other person. Keep an open mind and don't feel discouraged if it doesn't work. Yes, this is true. Don't, you're gonna feel helpless. You're gonna feel, very down on yourself. When you try something new and it's not working, you're gonna go, why can't I get this? Why isn't this working? I don't understand. That's okay. It's okay to not understand. And that's, I feel like, where people get a little turned around, because they're going to go, I don't understand, and then they're going to start over. They're going to start the cycle over. You need to break the cycle. So not understanding something is totally normal, especially if these are completely new things that you have no clue what's going on. You have no idea what's happening. So, but don't start over. Break the cycle. You need to keep going. So, what else was I thinking? Oh, yes. Do things you enjoy, okay? Don't let your trauma suck the fun and excitement out of all the shit that you used to like doing. That can happen, and it does happen. Don't let it keep you down. You need to be able to be like, you need to be able to be firm with yourself. Oh man, I really love going to the bookstore, but I'm just so sad. I'm just so upset and so not jiving with it today. It's not the vibe, it's not the bop, it's not the tea, whatever. No, get up. Go to the bookstore. If you like going to the bookstore, go to the bookstore. Okay? I've done this myself. I'm guilty of this myself. I'll be like, damn, I really wanted to do that today. I was looking forward to it, and I woke up in a mood, and I'm unhappy, and I fucking hate life, and I hate being here. Existing is disgusting. And then later that day, I'm gonna be like, damn, I should have fucking gone to the bookstore. I should have fucking did that thing. Now I'm upset that I didn't do that thing. I should have gone and done that thing. Ugh, now I'm so mad, Just go do the thing. Just go do the thing. Just do it, as Shia LaBeouf says. Let me put in quote, new things. New things. Yeah, that's maybe a little more specific. And I mean, doing the things that you enjoy is gonna help break that cycle. Break the cycle of laying in bed all day, or staying in the house, or not interacting with, you know, friends, family, loved ones, etc. Keeping yourself from the things that you need. Because I'll tell you something, it's going to start with not going to the bookstore, and then it's going to evolve to, I don't want to see my family, I don't want to see my friends, I don't want to shower, I don't want to brush my teeth, I don't want to take out the trash, I don't want to wash the dishes, I don't. Don't do that. Don't do that. I was going to type something and now I forgot. Wah. I used to know who he was, and then the Transformers movie happened. Oh yeah, Shia LaBeouf. Okay, that's what I wanted. Okay. I don't will turn into I won't, if that makes sense. So that looks ugly. So let me bold that to kind of separate it out. So what I mean by that is, no, you don't want to do those things. And it's okay to not want to do those things. And you don't have to do those things every day. It's capital I. You know, obviously you don't have to take the trash out every day. You don't have to shower every day. I mean, you don't have to brush your teeth every day. I'll be honest with y'all, I haven't brushed my teeth in like a year. That's just me. But that's what I mean. I never broke that cycle. And so now I don't brush my teeth. And now my teeth are falling out of my fucking face. I don't have anyone to blame for that but me. I know that's gross. I know that's kind of weird for some people. People don't really understand that. But that's because I never broke that cycle, and now I'm losing my teeth. So, learn from my example. Brush your teeth. And, you know, everything else, so. Or I can't. That's also true. Don't ever tell yourself you can't fucking do something. Because you can. It just takes time. Don't say I can't. No, it takes time. Okay. I capitalize my eyes. Okay, there we go. Maybe understand. That doesn't need to be bold. There. Excuse me, there. So. This just looks really scrunched together. Just a thing. Line spacing. All right, so here's what we got. And I mean, I hope, you know, this was helpful, of course. I'd like to think the diagrams help a little bit. I guess I really shouldn't say diagrams. Tables, I guess. Boxes. So, yeah. Being able, you know, step one, come to terms with your abuse. When you've come to terms with your abuse, you're ready to move on to everything else. You're ready to move on with healing. You know, figure out if the abuse is solvable or if you just have to leave. If you need to leave, get out. If it's solvable, figure out why they're doing it. Can they fix it? And if yes, seek professional help. You are not responsible for them seeking help. Don't fucking let them trick you, because if they do, then you need to leave. So, you know, understand that healing is a process. It's not linear. You will have bad days. And are you taking steps to fix it? Where I don't want to say fix it as much as manage it. You know, break the cycle. Don't fall into a habit. Figure out all the shit that makes you feel good and do those things. And yeah, sometimes you might need meds, and that's okay. There's nothing wrong with meds. Don't know if I can come to terms with it. So I guess maybe let me be clear. When you come to terms with abuse, you're not accepting the abuse. You're not going, oh, well, whatever happens, happens, or it is what it is, or, you know, whatever. That's not what you're doing. That's not what I mean when I say coming to terms. When I say coming to terms, what I'm saying is you acknowledge that all of this is now a part of you now. And that's difficult. It's difficult to absorb all of this. And that's okay. That's normal. But now, hopefully, by, you know, spreading it out in a little diagram, it's a little more easier to navigate. Okay. So that was the first submission. We do have a second submission, so let's go over that. Let's see. This is still affecting me greatly. I would really appreciate the advice. 3 years ago, January of 2020, I almost died from a 40-pound tumor. To this day, I still say it was the worst pain I've ever been through. And with hindsight, Oh, okay. Sorry. I'm crazy. And with hindsight, I realized that I was slowly dying for 3 days. I was so lucky to have had surgery when I did, because it saved my life. I still remember the fear that I felt. I never had surgery before, so that only added to my fear. I have a scar all the way down my stomach, and I can't even look at it without crying. I feel like this shouldn't be affecting me this badly, because it's been 3 years, but the emotional distress still feels just as intense. Do you have any advice for coping with what happened and how to move on from traumatic events? I don't know where to begin. Okay. So back to our diagram. Yeah, realized. Oh, goodness. Ah, why are we screaming? I appreciate it. I've swiped a screenshot to help me out with some questions to ask myself. Oh, sorry, you need a screenshot? Here, give me a second. Let me I'll put that away. There you go. Take all the screenshots you need. Okay. Oh, that's not what I wanted. Sorry, I have a little, when I play video games, I have a little controller. Okay, anyway. So, yeah, that could be another one. We have medical-related trauma. I need my box to be longer. Medical. So when I read this, obviously the fear of death is something a lot of people have. It's not every day I find a lot of people that just have accepted death. Death is scary because you don't know what's going to happen to you when you die. Where are you going to go? What's going to happen to your friends, family, loved ones? What is the world going to be when you're gone? What's going to happen to you when you're gone? It's very difficult questions that people ask themselves when thinking about dying. So when I read this, I see that the trauma comes from your near-death experience. Not necessarily, because of the treatment or the medical experience or medical service that you've had, the medical procedure. I mean, yeah, medical trauma does occur. There are people that don't like going to the hospital, people that don't like seeing doctors because of past trauma with those things. But that's not quite what I'm getting here. The trauma comes from the near-death experience. And yeah, that shit's tough. I can't say, well, I mean, I was gonna say I haven't had a near-death experience, but that's not quite true. But it was so long ago that I don't really remember. It doesn't mean anything in my brain because I was like 4. So, if this is your first near-death experience, you're processing the fact that you are not invincible. If that makes sense. And this happened to my brother. And now I don't know you personally, and that's okay. I'm just, again, just speaking from personal experiences. This happened to my brother. My brother, he's only 20. And so, when you're a 20-year-old boy, you think you're hot shit, you think you're on top of the world, nothing's gonna get you, you're invincible. Well, surprise, he ended up having an incident. He had an accident, and he quickly found out that he was not invincible, and it scared him very bad. He all of a sudden was super concerned about his health. He wanted to see the doctors he wanted to go to the hospital for literally any little thing that was like, oh, I don't feel good. This is weird. I don't like this. I don't like this feeling. And it would be, something as simple as like a splinter. And so he started taking things like this very seriously, because he's like, holy shit, I don't want to die. What the fuck? And so now I don't want to say he's just want to say you're a nice person and we're here to support you. Love you no matter what. Oh, well, thank you. Appreciate it. But he's not he's still a cocky little jerk. But I mean, now he's more vigilant. He's more aware of these things now. And that's whoops. Come on, you. And that's gonna be another thing, is awareness. Excuse you? There you go. Okay. Can I tell you or no? Tell me what? What's up? What do you need? Okay. Any advice for coping with what happened? So maybe this is just a personal depictor in my mind. But when somebody uses the word coping or cope, how I view that word is, oh, well, just deal with it. I don't typically like using that word when, directly correlated with trauma or mental health or abuse, near-death experience. Oh, I mean, if you want to share, then, I mean, you can. I'm not going to force you to. And so, I mean, that's just how I personally view that word. And sometimes it's, oh, just, cope with it. It's like, well, just deal with it. Just handle it, just don't worry about it. And it's like, well, that's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen because now I have trauma and now I get to deal with that forever. So are you coping with this trauma? No. Personally, I'm going to say no. You don't need to cope with trauma. What we're doing is we are simply following the process. We are going through the process. And so necessarily your process is going to start here. I just realized you guys can't see my mouse. Let's fix that. Capture cursor. Okay, here we go. And then my mouse is super tiny. There's a setting in here for that, I'm pretty sure. Setting to make my mouse bigger. Let's see. Personalization. Let's see. I don't even know. Here we go. Mouse pointer size. Make it big. There we go. Now you can see my mouse. So when it comes to that, I would say your process doesn't start at step 1, because it's not necessarily the abuse as much as it's just the trauma from the event. So, you know, you might go through your 7 stages of grief. What are you doing to help yourself? If it's good for you, keep doing that, you know, keep doing the things that are good for you. Healing, you're gonna have really shit days sometimes. That's okay. You know, it's mostly coming to terms with your trauma is not going to go away. It doesn't disappear. Oh, I mean, if you're deleting your messages before I see them, so I don't know what you said. Okay, that was okay. And so I noticed that you say that you feel like you should be over this because it's been so long. And so that's another thing, is that when you look at your scar, when you look at yourself and you see your scar, you're remembering the fact that I almost died. and you know, this is what I have to show for it. And, you know, coming to terms with your mortality is definitely difficult. Was hit in the head by a rock and almost got put into a coma. Did somebody throw the rock at you? What? Sounds not good. Right. You feel like you should be over this trauma because it's been so long. So obviously, considering that you almost died, your trauma is going to be very severe. And not all the time, but most of the time, how severe the trauma is will directly correlate with how much of an impact it has on you long term. And considering that, you know, the outcome was almost death, it's gonna stick with you for a while. And that sucks. It sucks to hear that, you know, because you want to be better and you don't want to have to deal with this. You don't want to have to look at your scar and go, this is terrible. Like, literally, it's literally the worst feeling. Outside perspectives might be weighing on them to say that it's been 3 years and they should get over it. I've been told much the same about my trauma. And that's also true. If I'm not sure if, you know, you have friends or family that are just like, oh, well, it wasn't that bad, or, well, you lived, and it's like, okay, bitch. Yeah, what if I didn't fucking live? All right? Cool. Settle down with the fucking attitude, my guy. But, don't let other people influence how you feel about your experience. So if, you know, there are gonna be people that don't understand what you're going through, that aren't gonna grasp the concept that, holy shit, you almost died, because, you know, it's not important to them, or, you know, they weren't there to see it, or they just don't care. And, you know, you're gonna get a lot of that from the people that are around you if they don't understand. And so what you need to do, if you do have people that are around you that do this, just, you need to, you know, close that door, set a boundary, be like, hey, I did not ask for your opinion. I mean, if you did, then you did. But if you didn't, because people like to insert their opinions without, you know, without being asked all the time. So, you know, if people are overstepping and they're trying to be like, oh, well, you know, you didn't die, or, well, just get over it, or cope, or, you know, whatever. Hey, shut the fuck up. I didn't ask. Okay? If I asked, you would have known. All right? And maybe that's just me. Maybe I'm just a confrontational bitch. But sometimes you need to be a confrontational bitch. You know, if people are not getting the hint, it's time to stop dropping hints and just say it, okay? So, you know, if you have people around you that are minimizing your experience or minimizing how you feel, you can tell those people to fuck off. And no, that's not easy for everybody. Let's give me my text box. How to tell people to fuck off. All right. Let's do that. It takes a lot. It takes a lot. Because, I'll be honest, I was not always a confrontational bitch. I was not always the kind of person to be like, hey, fuck off. Okay? You know, I've had my times, I've had my moments, you know, where I was quiet, I kept to myself, didn't bother people because I didn't want to be a burden. I didn't want to take up too much space. I made myself as small as possible, because if I, you know, overexerted myself to other people, you know, they're gonna fucking think I'm crazy. You know, just like, you know, it's the stigma that surrounds confident people, if that makes sense. You know, if I go, for example, if somebody was, you know, was like, oh, you gotta try this, this is great, it makes your life better, and I think it's dumb, if I think that's a stupid fucking idea, I'm gonna go, no, that's stupid. And most people are gonna be like, oh, she's closed-minded, she doesn't want to do it because it makes her uncomfortable, or, you know, some other bullshit. They don't view confidence out of that statement. Because when I say no, people don't go, wow, she really knows what she wants. That's not something that people say. They go, when I say no, they go, oh, you're just closed-minded. Oh, you don't know what you're talking about. Oh, well, you've never tried it. No, bitch, I said no. Okay? So there's two approaches to telling people to fuck off. You can be nice. Okay. Or you can be mean. Or blunt, I guess, is another word for it. And so, of course, you know, being nice is just like a, oh, no thanks, I'm good. Nah, I'm good, it's good. You know, don't worry about it. I'm not worried about it. No, it's good. Yep, thank you. No, I'm good. Thank you. You know, I'm probably gonna need another fucking diagram for this. Okay. So being nice, that's typically like the no thank yous. You know, stuff like that. And then there's gonna be one of two things that's gonna happen. So you're gonna try being nice, and this individual is, I can't click. Okay. And this individual is either going to accept or push. Okay. Hello. There we go. Don't mind me just getting organized. Okay. I swear these arrows are gonna be the death of me. Okay, so what I'm doing is, sorry, I'm creating a very super awesome, thorough diagram for everyone to understand. Because you'll notice all of the arrows are going in the same direction. Okay, that's not what I wanted to do. Just needed one of those. Cool. Oh, God. Jesus. You know, let's use a different arrow for that one. I want a different arrow. Give me another one. Give me another arrow. Give me that. Just, there you go. Give me the arrow. Stop. Give me the arrow. Okay, there. Goodness. Okay, great. That took a while. Okay, so. We don't need that arrow. So if they accept it, you have just nicely told somebody to fuck off. Okay? But now if they push, now this could be like, you know, I mean, like the, oh, come on, it's not that bad, come on, no, come on, you know, stuff like that. You know, they're gonna want to push you to say yes. They're gonna want to push you to, you know, accept what they want to do or what's happening. So, you know, this is the point where you're gonna get a little firm, you know. And this could be, you know, because before you're just like, no, thank you, I'm good, thanks. You know, just like don't want to cause conflict, don't want to, you know, don't want to cause a scene, don't want to be crazy. Yeah, I use crazy in quotes, but now they're pushing you. So now you're just gonna say, nah, you know, just nah, or no, or, you know, just, you know, you're gonna change your tone, if that makes sense. Change your tone. That is not how you spell that. Tone. And then the same thing's gonna happen. They're either gonna accept or they're gonna push. And so, again, if they accept, that's just, you know, it's gonna put you right back at the starting line. Arrows. Give me that arrow. Oh my god. There. You know, it's gonna push you right back over here. Why is it's a V? Oh god. There. Okay. But now, if they keep pushing... Excuse me. No. I want to change the direction. There. Okay. And now, you know, if they keep pushing, you know, just the, oh, you're not being fun, or, oh, Jesus. or just do it for me. Just this once, you know, shit like that. Now you're gonna be mean, okay? Be mean. Fuck off. I said no. Period. Period. All right, cool. And now, you know, you can start here. You can start by being blunt if that's if you know that all of this shit is gonna happen regardless. Cut out the middleman. Tell him to fuck off. Okay? So now, if you struggle with confrontation, which happens, you know, not everybody likes dealing with confrontation. There are people that just want to be people pleasers, people that just want to keep the peace, you know, they don't want to cause conflict, cause drama, you know. Get over it. Not to be that bitch, but when it comes to you need to put you first. Put your mental health first. Put your physical health first. Put your morals first. If you don't want to do it, don't do it. Cool. Simple as that. All right? Don't let people pressure you into doing something you don't want to do. And, you know, this could be, you know, it could be anybody. It could be your parents, could be a spouse, a loved one, a friend, you know, whatever. Someone, you know, trying to peer pressure you into smoking weed or something. And you don't want to smoke weed. Don't smoke weed. Okay, I was taking a drink. So, but then, okay, so here comes another thing. Obviously, if you're a minor and you still live with your parents, that might not be an option. You might not be able to tell your parents to fuck off all the time. I know sure as shit I wasn't able to do that. So, and this really just kind of depends on like how your parents are. Like if you're in an environment that's not safe, if you're in an environment that, you know, if standing your ground and telling them to fuck off is going to create a dangerous space or a dangerous situation, then yeah, you probably shouldn't do that. So how do you not do something you don't want to do, but also keep the peace in the house? And this is a very difficult concept. Let's see. How to set, whoops. Oh, come on. How to set boundaries, but also keep the peace. Okay. So, yeah, for situations like living with parents. Because obviously, you know, if you're a minor, you're not going to be able to just leave, you know. You do still technically, legally need to live with your legal guardians, and it's the majority of the time that's your parents. So Let me move my cursor. And so I'm trying to think of experiences that I've had with my parents. Because shit was not always fantastic between me and my parents. And it's still not. For example, sorry, I had to burp. For example, I do not speak with my mother anymore. And that's just because of the way things were when I was living with her, that I made a conscious decision as an adult that when I left, minimal contact. Okay? Not no contact completely, because I have seen her in the time that, I've been moved out and on my own, but I'm not like, oh my god, hey queen, oh my god, hi, how's it doing, oh my god, let's go get coffee, oh my god, slay, queen, that's not the relationship me and my mother have. It's a don't ask, don't tell kind of thing. So okay, sorry, I was taking a stretch. And, it's one of those things where, obviously, I don't hate my mother. I don't go, oh, what a despicable woman. Ugh, God, terrible mother. I don't do that, because I know that's not true. I just prefer not to associate myself with her due to the actions that took place while I was living in her house. So, it's not a love-hate relationship. So yeah, I'm just thinking of like the shit that I would do to like try and keep my mom calm in a stable frame of mind so she didn't fucking go batshit. I would avoid her, that's for sure. I need my bulletins, give me that. So avoiding them. And this could be like, just I guess, avoiding them is very strong, because you obviously still live in the same house, so you're gonna see each other. But as much as limiting the shared space. So, if you do have to be in the same room with them, it's not for an extended period of time. It's okay, you're on a 10-minute timer, and when your 10 minutes are up, I'm gone. Deuces, It's stuff like that. When I got my first job, I started like buying my own shit, like my own food and my own clothes, and like, shit to like, I was merging more into the adult world. And so, besides living on my own because I was only 17, I was buying my own shit just because. So something that my mom would do that I'm sure a lot of people with narcissistic parents are familiar with is that they'll say something or they'll make a promise to you and they'll either switch what they said or take back their promise. So like the they'll be nice and they'll go, oh well, I can do that for you, that's no problem, I'm your mother, I can do that for you, of course. And then when they're unhappy or you do something to set them off, they're gonna go, I can't believe I fucking did that shit for you, I should have just fucking let your ass drown. That's a very dramatic example, it's not what she said. But she'll switch it up, if that makes sense. And so to avoid her switching up, I would just do it. So if here, I'm speaking in third person. If you need it done, then do it. Whoa, hey, do it yourself. Doing it yourself is going to cause less conflict, future endeavors. Just to, if you do have parents that like to switch up on you like that, if they say, oh, I can just do that for you, I can just do that for you. No. I got it. It's covered. You know what? Just be like, no, I'm already doing it. Even if you haven't started, even if you haven't done it yet, just say you're already doing it. Let's see. I'm just thinking, don't mind me. Okay, here's another example, and this is something that I still do because of the environment that I was in. So, when dealing with narcissistic people, you cannot insert your opinion, if that makes sense. Not even if they ask. Don't insert, well, hey, insert your opinion. Hello. Bro, there. Don't insert your opinion. And so this is something that I still do, and I've never, because my boyfriend calls me out on it. He'll go, oh, what did you think of that movie? And I'll go, oh, it's fine. It was fine. And he'll go, well, you always say that. You always say it's fine. Nothing's ever good or great or bad. And it's like, well, I can't say that something's good or great or bad because I have trauma that I haven't quite healed from yet. I haven't quite emerged from my process of healing. So, and this is because when I was living with my parents and I would insert my opinion, it was obliterated. I was fucking demolished. Not all the time, but most of the time. So, if or even like sometimes maybe you'll just kind of be talking out loud. It doesn't necessarily have to be like you're talking to them, but just kind of like, saying what's on your mind and just kind of like getting it out into the world. So if inserting your opinion, they will insert their opinion. And typically, their opinion is going to directly butt heads with your opinion. Because when you talk with a narcissist, they're going to find a way to twist what you're saying to make it seem like what you're saying isn't correct or that's not what you want. Again, don't let anybody fucking tell you what you want. But we're not talking about randos on the street. We're talking about parents. And so what would end up happening is like I'm trying to think of an example. Let's say you're just a fucking bucktooth, weaselly little kid that doesn't know shit. And maybe you're just like, oh, I think I might be a Democrat, I think that makes sense. I think democracy makes sense, And that could be just a nothing burger. That could be nothing. That's as simple as, oh, well, I'm glad you're experimenting with politics. Period. That's all it ever needs to be. But if you're dealing with narcissistic parents, they're going to go, you can't be a Democrat. You can't be a Democrat because you believe in this and this and this. You can't be a Democrat because you live under my house and democracy is not allowed in my house. You can't do that. Well, democracy's fine until they do this, right? Because you don't believe in that stuff, but then you're going to say you're a Democrat. That is exactly what I mean about inserting your opinion. Because they're going to take it and they're going to jumble it all up and twist it and shake it and make it so it's not what you said. And then, of course, that only, causes conflict and drama because that's what they want. Narcissist people survive off of drama. They thrive on it. Let's see what else. Just trying to think. Oh, I just opened the Discord and there's a bunch of stuff in the confession room. Okay, here we go. We'll come back to the parent thing if it comes up. So let's see. Oh gosh. That is definitely not what I wanted. No. Okay. Let me put that back up there. Don't mind me, just looking for my snipping tool. Also, if I skip over a confession, oops, if I skip over a confession and like it's not in order, if that makes sense, I'm not ignoring you. It's just because like it's long, and so I'll save the long ones for like their own time, their own, you know, their own designated space. If that makes sense. Okay. Okay, we read that one. Okay. 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 I wonder what air tastes like. Oh, because I'm because I'm smacking my lips too much. Okay. I'm 31 years old and I haven't been able to make any headway with my addiction recovery. I've gotten sober from alcohol and I've gotten myself self-harming behavior under control, but my biggest two things that are still a problem are my porn addiction and my overeating habits. I've been trying to lose weight my whole life, and I had I'm sorry, I'm dyslexic. I had surgery back in 2019. I lost 80 pounds and then gained the weight back. I'm now diabetic and on Osmic and other meds to manage the condition. My health sucks and my life is out of control. How do I make progress with how do I make progress in this with so little going for me? Okay. So I'm not a doctor either, but obviously I'll say that your age does correlate with your weight or your metabolism. I guess I'll say it like that. So obviously, you know, the older you get, the less metabolism you have. And so what's happening is sorry. What's happening is you don't have the metabolism that you once had. And so, I mean, it's normal for, you know, as you get older to gain a little bit of weight. And there's nothing wrong with gaining a little bit of weight. And obviously, if gaining weight is making you unhappy and you feel like you're overweight and you're trying to take steps to lose that weight, then yes, obviously, that's very frustrating to, you know, be on meds and undergo surgery and go through treatment to manage this cycle, and then you keep falling back into the cycle. When it comes to overeating, I don't have a lot of advice on that one. I don't want to say I did, because sometimes I have really bad days and I relapse on my eating disorder. Fun fact, we're learning a lot about each other today. I have an eating disorder, and it's I will eat as little as possible. I undereat. There was once a time where I became so depressed that I was only eating like maybe a couple tablespoons of peanut butter every day. And I did that for like a month. I would just eat peanut butter and maybe a cracker. And I'd be like, yep, I love peanut butter. This is great. And then I would feel like shit. And then I'd be like, I feel like ass. I need more peanut butter. And I would just keep eating peanut butter. And then I would feel sick. But obviously, from what it sounds like, it doesn't sound like your issues caused by depression. To be completely fair, I'm technically on the morbidly obese category. This is my confession. See if you have questions. Oh, okay. We'll see, because that's another thing too, is like when you say technically morbidly obese, obviously we're taking into consideration the... Sorry you struggle like you did. Oh, I'm cool, I'm lit, I'm fine. It's good. Because now we're talking on medical technicalities, because your weight is obviously considered a medical discussion. And when you want to refer, a lot of people refer to their weight in terms of BMI. And I'll tell you that BMI is bullshit. BMI does not account for all types of people. BMI does not account for all types of body shapes, body types. And so what the BMI scale is doing is it's generalizing all these different types of people, all these different groups of people who hold their weight differently, who have different body types, who are structured differently, and they're putting them in the same category as somebody who does fit that BMI scale. And I'll tell you that the BMI scale only fits maybe 20, maybe even 15 to 20% of the population. And so now you're taking 100% of all people and you're fitting them into a 20% demographic. I have PTSD from childhood abuse and other things. And I use food to self-medicate. Oh, okay. So in that case, I'm trying to imagine it on an opposite effect. Because in terms of myself, I have the problem with not eating enough. Biggest concern is, how did I get this coping mechanism under control? I want to say, personally, this is just, my personal opinion, my personal advice, is being able to have self-control. And again, yes, this is going to be very difficult, considering you use food to cope with past trauma. I mean, I imagine it's like drugs, except you need food to survive. Because it's very common for people to use or abuse substances to also cope with particular types of trauma. Because, well, when I smoke weed, I just forget, it doesn't bother me anymore because now I'm high as a fucking kite and I love looking at colors or some bullshit. And so when you do that, you're not really addressing the problem. And we'll go back to our diagram, is that right now, reading what you're saying, I would say that you are here. You're not, you're on a point where you're trying to break this cycle, but you just can't quite get there. Yay, the diagram. And so you're having a hard time breaking the cycle because something is causing you to continue to binge eat. And so figuring out what's causing this, you know, get familiar with what's causing this to happen, is going to set you up for the next parts of success over here. So and I know you did mention earlier that your triggers do change. And yeah, that's gonna happen. But as long as you're recognizing when that happens, if you're recognizing when your triggers change, you can set up a process that's going to, you know, move those hurdles, if that makes sense. So I don't want to say seeing the future, but you're predicting that these things are going to happen, and now you need to create a plan to prevent those things from happening. So like when your triggers, when they change, are they cycling through, or are they different ones each time? Like when your triggers change, is it something new every time, or are you cycling through like a process? Because if you're cycling through certain triggers, you can see a pattern, and you can get familiar with this pattern and move around it. Once you see the pattern, you're gonna know what's gonna happen. You know what happens next. You know, I've seen this story before, and I don't like how it ends, basically. And so now that you know what's gonna happen, you can make changes to break your cycle. A lot of them are new. Okay. I would say if a lot of these triggers are new in development, I would say try and I have some similarities between the old ones and the new ones, but not always enough to recognize them before they happen. Okay, that's fair. Yeah, I would say if the majority of the triggers are new, I would say, you know, create a list. You know, list your triggers on a piece of paper, or, you know, on your phone or something. List your triggers on paper. Separate the old ones from the new ones, and then create a cause and effect list. Hello. There you go. List. I hate when it does that. Okay. And so what this is going to do is once you separate the old, let me create like an example diagram here. So let's say these are all the old ones. Excuse me. And these are the new ones. Let's center that. And let's put this over here. And then give me another box. Give me another box. Give me another box. And how you set this up is completely up to you. I'm just creating an example. Cause and effects. And so basically what you're doing with this cause and effect list is you are going to, that's not what I wanted. Is you're going to determine which of the old trigger, oh God, which of the old triggers have common causes and common effects as the old triggers, or the new triggers, sorry. God damn it. You're comparing the old with the new. Oh my good lord. I just, oh my god. I just want to move these arrows. Can I have the arrows? Cool, thanks. Thank you, thank you, thank you. And so, okay. And so by comparing the old with the new on the cause and effect list, what the cause and effects are going to do is, you know, it's a if this, then that, if that makes sense. So every time I do this, I know this is going to happen. Or every time I do that, that's going to happen. Or, you know, something like that. And this is how you can see patterns in cause and effects. Where was I? Right here. Okay. So, and so the next thing that you, well, not the next thing, but one of the first things that you mentioned was the porn addiction. And I look at porn personally. I'm not going to sit here and say I don't. But porn addiction, it's real. You know, if anybody's watching this right now and go, too much porn, impossible. Yes, there is. Okay, so settle the fuck down and take a listen. So, porn addiction is real, and this is because, you know, much like substance abuse, what substance abuse does is it triggers a chemical reaction in your brain, and this is how people get addicted, is because your brain needs that chemical. It's now become dependent on that chemical that you get when you do substances. And porn is very similar, because when you watch porn, you're releasing all of these, your brain is releasing all of these chemicals and doing all of this shit. And so now your brain has become dependent on those chemicals, and now you get those chemicals when you watch porn, and now you associate porn with this feeling, and this feeling makes you feel good, and now you need that feeling, and now you have to have it more, and so now you watch more porn, and it becomes a cycle, and this is how addiction starts. And so I know cutting cold turkey isn't for everybody. And I know that's going to be difficult, especially cutting cold turkey is the most difficult way to beat an addiction if you're doing it alone. Because it's definitely more helpful if you have somebody to clock your ass every time, you know, you think you're falling back into a cycle. For example, if my boyfriend's watching this, I'm sorry, I'm not trying to put you on blast. I'm just using this as an example. My boyfriend, once upon a time, had a porn addiction. And I cut him off. I cut him off of it. I said, delete it all. And if you think you didn't get it all, I'll get it all. And so, you know, he went through all the processes, he went through the steps, he deleted, you know, whatever fucking subscriptions he had to Patreon. He never had an OnlyFans. It wasn't popular at the time, you know, this happened. You know, unsubscribed from the subscriptions, deleted all the apps, deleted the pictures he had saved, you know, unfollowed the Instagram babes, all that. And I was like, okay, now, you know, when he was done, I was like, okay, now let me see. And I went through his phone. And, you know, I'm not, you know, I don't want somebody to be like, oh, well, how'd you know you get it all? Bitch, I know I fucking got it all, okay? I'm a goddamn detective. So what I was doing is, you know, I went through his phone, I made sure it was all gone, I made sure the subscriptions were gone, blah, blah, blah. And so what I was doing is I would periodically check in. I would just be like, because I know his passwords. I don't, people are gonna be like, that's toxic. No, bitch, I was saving him. I know that sounds so stupid. But it's serious. It's a serious problem. I would periodically check in. And, you know, I'd go through his phone, you know, check all of his apps. I was able to see, like, if he had any hidden apps or anything behind a password or, like, a security wall or, like, whatever. And so, you know, if he was hiding something, I would have found it, basically, is what I'm saying. And something now, because he's my boyfriend and I'm comfortable talking about intimate subjects with him, what I was doing is I would ask him certain questions about the porn that he was watching. Like, what is it about this that piques your interest? Oh, why do you like this girl so much? Or what part of this, you know, turns you on? And I feel like, you know, giving him a space where he can openly discuss sexual and intimate topics like this, I felt kind of, you know, diverted him from the porn, if that makes sense. Because I'm not, you know, everybody watches porn, but not, you know, not everybody's gonna be like, oh my god, yeah, look, totally, bro, totally, I love watching porn. You know, like, it's taboo, if that makes sense. And so what you're doing is you're creating a space that isn't taboo, where these subjects are not taboo, and he can be comfortable talking to me about these things in a space, you know, in the comfort and privacy of his own home, the home that we live in, mind you. And, you know, I don't attack him or like, oh, but she's ugly, how could you like that? It's like, I listen. Because listening is key. When somebody is trying to overcome a part of themselves that's taking control, they need to understand why that's taking control. And so being able, you're not coaching them, you're allowing them to figure it out for themselves. So, I would ask very simple questions. What is it about that? What is it about this? Oh, what about her? What about him? What about blah? What about blah? And letting him talk it out, and let the gears turn. Let him figure it out. Let him walk through his own steps. And I mean, now now he's not addicted to porn, so that's good. So I'm not sure if you have somebody like that, or somebody who is willing to be that for you. Obviously, if push comes to shove, I'm not talking about somebody that would like suck your dick for free, but I mean like somebody you're comfortable with, and somebody who's comfortable with you. You're comfortable with them knowing this about you, and they're comfortable with you being open with them about intimate subjects like this, and that they're okay with just listening. Okay, that's all they're doing. They're just listening, not inserting an opinion. They just need to listen. And also, I mean, obviously, if this person is also comfortable doing little check-ins on you, making sure that you're not actually like watching porn. But because like the thing about it is like my boyfriend watches porn now. Yeah, absolutely. I watch porn too, but he's not addicted to it anymore, because now he feels like he can be open about these things and he doesn't have to hide it. So now he's not getting like that taboo serotonin that he would get when he was just watching a dubious amount. So I want to say consuming, I guess. I don't know. Don't have close friends who I can talk to about it. Never had intimate relationships with a woman. I guess the next step would probably just be counseling or therapy. There are, there are therapists that deal with sexual topics, like porn addiction. Not a good time to be here. Well, we're talking about addiction, and we're talking about porn. So, um, suggestions are kind of helpful and worth trying. Thank you. Of course. And it's another thing about that is like, try what you're willing to try. Don't step outside of your comfort zone if you don't think that that's for you. I mean, if you want to try it, then try it. And if you don't, don't. But yeah, I mean, the next steps after that, I would probably just say counseling or therapy. And there are therapists that do work with sexual related topics like this. So, because therapists, they can do check-ins too. So a therapist can always check in on you and be like, you're not watching porn, are you? Like, hey. I mean, yeah, sure, you could always lie, but when you're actively trying to get better, and pursue health, then I don't think you're gonna lie. So, is this like feeling comfortable in the space of the furry and talking about personal things with people who understand you? What? I'm not quite sure what you meant, but that's fine. I'm sure you'll clarify. Okay, so the next one. I had come out to my friend after knowing them for more than 3 years, and they dropped me like I was nothing. I haven't spoken to them since. I was hesitant to coming out to them and told them I was afraid they'd just leave me, and they gave me their word that they wouldn't, but I guess their word didn't mean much. Caused me so much heartache, and now I'm afraid of coming out to anyone I know due to that experience. It pains me to think about it to this day, and it affects my ability to form friendships like before. Okay. I think they meant being comfortable in a community that will support you and not judge you. Oh, well, I mean, yeah. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say furries are judge free because they're not. They're assholes most of the time. But yes, there is a big part of the community that does try to accept others not at their face. You know, understand that there's more under the surface. Okay, so for this in particular, when I read this, I feel like we're making a comparison. Well, not a comparison. I feel like you're... And I mean, obviously I wasn't there, and I don't know what happened, and I don't know you guys, but do you know for a fact that this person no longer speaks to you because you came out, is my question. Because it could be is it possible that that's the reason? Yes, but it's also possible that that's not the reason if it hasn't been defined or, you know, put in stone, basically. I mean, depending on the kind of person they are, they could have just left. I mean, sometimes, when it comes to friendships like that, sometimes things aren't quite meant to be. And I'll use an experience. I'll use a personal experience as an example. I had a friend that I have not spoken to since high school, which was 7 years ago. And I have known that person for literally my entire life up to that point. We went to the same school. We lived 2 houses down from each other. We always played games in the backyard. We always hung out at each other's houses. We were practically fucking inseparable. God forbid you'd probably think we were like related, like brother and sister, like playing games all the fucking time. And and so we hit high school, and we fucking started fighting over a boy. We started fighting over a boy. That's super fucking embarrassing. We started fighting over a boy. And, there was a time where we were both really resentful of each other, and we were both dealing with a lot of really big, complicated emotions for a teenager. for teenagers. um, and we didn't know what was going on, and we were trying to make it work for a little bit, but it just wasn't working. And sometimes that happens. Sometimes it just doesn't work. And, you know, we never looked at each other and been like, this isn't working, you know, I gotta drop you. It just happened, you know. Sometimes these things happen abruptly, but they happen naturally. And so, oh, yep, thank you for coming to the stream. Bye-bye. And yeah, I haven't spoken to them. I don't want to say I haven't spoken to them since, because I saw them on social media. And so, a funny thing about me, I believe in signs from the universe. I believe the cosmos sends me little signals, little beacons to say, this is your cue, go now. And so a couple years ago, I ended up finding their TikTok account, because I pursued TikTok like a fucking bloodhound. I love TikTok so much. I was just scrolling through TikTok, blah, blah, blah. And they had one of their TikToks popped up on my page. And I was like, what the fuck? Do I know them? And I was like, oh my God, it's them. And it became such an internal conflict, because I was like, this is a sign. This is a sign. Why now, all of a sudden, after, you know, 5 years of not speaking to each other, do I just magically get one of their TikToks on my For You page? Just spontaneously in the middle of the night as I'm just scrolling through TikTok. This is a sign. But then I was like, what would I even say? Like, hey girly pop, what's up? Oh my God. Like, holy shit. And so, and I mean, I'll be honest, I cried about it, because I was like, this was my best friend. This was my best friend since I've known, that I've known since kindergarten. And then we fought over a boy, and now we don't speak to each other. What would I even say? And, well, you know, push came to shove, I picked up my nuts and I messaged them. And I was like, hey, haven't seen you in a while, haven't talked to you in a while. You know, I know shit ended badly, but if you want to talk, here's my Discord. Reach out, you know? And they were like, oh my God, yeah, for sure. I want to talk to you. I think we need to talk. And I was like, okay, this is great. This is perfect. It's all coming together. It's lining up. And I was nervous as shit to talk to them, because I was like, oh my God, what's even going to happen? I don't even know. I don't know what to say. I don't know what are we even going to talk? What's going to happen? I don't know what we're going to say. And then we never called each other. I think I sent like a follow-up message. I was like, hey, yeah, just let me know when you're free, and, you know, we can talk. And then they like never responded. And I was like, well, yeah, I guess that's that. I tried. And cause like, that's the thing. You can't force somebody to speak to you. You can't force somebody to want to interact with you. You can't force somebody to want to have that conversation with you. And when I say that conversation, I mean like, well, why did we break up? You know, I say break up because like, it's true. You guys break up. And it's sad, and it's devastating, and it's emotional, and it's fucking tough. And, you know, sometimes people aren't ready for that conversation. You can't force them to be ready. And I feel like that's what's happening here with your friend, is they ended up falling off, and obviously you don't know the reason why, but they might not be ready to tell you why or to have that conversation with you yet, because they're either not ready or they don't know. And so yeah, I understand that it hurts and it's not a great feeling. You literally broke up. Breakups are tough. It's rough. It's rough, sister. But when it comes to coming out, your sexuality, obviously you're gonna be able to figure out who is safe and who is not. Who is the safe people? I can tell that I'm gay or lesbian or trans or, non-binary or demi or whatever. And who can absolutely not know. And so this is why I ask if you know for certain that they left because of the reason that you came out. Because you obviously thought at some point that they were a safe person, that you put them on your list of safe people, and you were comfortable enough to tell them, to come out to them. And so I'm not going to sit here and say that it's not the reason, because it's possible. It's possible. But if it wasn't directly disclosed, it's also possible that it could be something else. And that's the conversation that they might be struggling with, is because they're not ready to have that conversation. And it's hard, and it sucks. And, it's not always easy to, because what you're looking for, is closure. You want to know the reason why, if it hasn't been defined. And now you're just kind of being, drug along on a string. Or maybe not even that. Maybe they cut the string completely and now you don't even see them at all. But and that happens to people when they don't get closure. They start to cycle, basically. Because I want to know why this, but I can't have this. And why can't I have this? And, well, is it because I did this? No, it's because I did that. Well, what if I said this? And what if that made them uncomfortable? And what if I did this? And maybe that's why they left. And maybe this is why I shouldn't have friends. And I'm just a black hole and I just shouldn't have nice things. And this is why people leave me. It spins. You spin. You are spiraling. Because you don't have the closure that you're looking for. Also, my voice has totally changed. I'm not used to talking for so long. Okay. What's the next one? I was sexually abused by a family member as a child. I haven't said anything about it to my parents because they waived the physical abuse they did to me, paired with the threat of death. My silence had suppressed the memories until my 20s when I went to therapy for suicidal ideations. That's where the traumatic events finally uncoiled and made itself known. I've told my group what I've done to survive and sorry. I've told my group what I've done to survive and my wishes that I've been killed as a child rather than surviving with those experiences. Despite the horrible things I've done to stay alive, they were not disgusted with me. I was embarrassed. Oh, sorry. I was embraced with open arms and love for me, which shocked me to my core, and I still long for that love I've felt to be seen. Thanks for the help. Gotta go to bed. Oh yeah, for sure. Don't even worry about it. Like, thank you for coming to the stream. Have a good night. Eventually I moved to a different city and tried to get into different therapist's office, but the scheduling is wrong, or the staff had flat out refused me, had made me give up on getting more help for it. This led to my medication running out and my drive depleting. I remember telling my mom about the abuse, and even though we cried, nothing happened. I am living on my own while she is paying for a house so that my brother can live in it, and both my sisters rent. Car payments and everything while I ate cold beans out of a can. This had led me to distance myself from them, and now they're wondering why I don't call them. Okay. I'm just rereading a couple of things. I mean, obviously, you know, sorry that happened to you, and I'm glad you're seeking help and, you know, working on the process of healing and recovery. Yeah, this is one of those things. Let me go back to my diagram here. Okay, so in terms of the diagram, you have left. So you've cut them out. You've gone to therapy. You've tried, doing better, and you've tried helping yourself. You're on the road to recovery. You're healing. Obviously, physical, mental, sexual abuse is what we are dealing with. You're still actively trying to seek therapy, which means you've already broke the cycle. So now it's just the issue with the parents. Where's my... oh, here. Oh, that was if you couldn't get out. Okay. I mean, yes, of course, you're gonna feel resentment towards your parents. It's only a natural response. Because, obviously you feel like the black sheep. And I mean, to an extent you are, because your parents are willing to do anything and everything for their other children except for you. And then, to add on top of the fact that they've also abused you and threatened you with death. I mean, seeing cases like that, because you say that you've already tried talking about it with your mother, and yeah, nothing really happened. And a similar situation like this happened with me and my mother. A couple years ago, we ended up sitting down and having a talk about, her behavior when I was living under her roof, and the types of things that she would do and say and all that. And of course, it was a very emotional, very hard conversation, and it was basically what she told me. She apologized. She was like, I'm sorry. She said, I'm sorry that I did those things, but I don't remember. Like, she told me that she didn't remember those things happening. And while that might partially be true, because, mental illness affects everybody differently, and it could be possible that her mental illness was affecting her memory. It's one of those things that just, it didn't suffice for me. The apology meant nothing, because you don't even remember those things happening in the first place. So now your apology holds no weight. Because, in technical terms, you don't know what you're apologizing for, because you don't remember it happening in the first place. And so, eventually the conversation just ended up becoming bare. And I was just like, obviously I can't forgive you. Like, and she was like, I know, I don't expect you to, blah, 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 all the typical. And then she, gave me some croissants and some muffins, and I left. But basically, it became a weightless conversation. Even, a conversation that holds so much emotion and so much gravity and so much opportunity for growth, and then none of that happened. So I definitely see where you're coming from, and I've not spoken to my mother in almost 2 years. It's been a year and a half, almost 2 years. Because we had that conversation in 2020. And then we saw each other one more time for a family gathering. And because the thing about it is you say that they don't know why you cut them off. They're confused. They don't get it. Compared to my mother is pretty certain of the reason why we don't talk. Don't ask, don't tell policy. So, obviously your mom knows the reason why, because you guys have talked about it previously. And if she says that she doesn't, then she's lying. And that's the thing about that, is because she can't claim that she never knew about this, because you guys have already talked about it. And so keep a key eye on when she does that. And maybe I'm projecting a little too much, but if she's claiming that she doesn't like know what happened when obviously you guys have had the conversation, keep a key eye for when she's doing that and who she's doing it around. Because what I see a pattern here that if she's treating your siblings well or better than the way that she treats you, she's gonna claim that she has no idea what you're talking about around your siblings, around her other children that she keeps close, that she treats well. Because obviously she doesn't want to look bad in front of the children that she's keeping around. Because she doesn't want them to leave her. You've already left, so you do not matter to her. You've already left, you're gone. But though your other siblings are still around. And if she's doing that, particularly around your other siblings, then you know that she has not changed. And she doesn't plan on it either. And, you know, that's rough. It's never a good thing to hear, but understand that she's made her bed. And, you know, let her lie in it, basically. Now, you know, when it comes to your siblings, I don't know the kind of relationships, you know, you have with your siblings. I would like to assume going well, you know, despite the parental conflict. But I mean, yeah, it would be different if your other siblings were trying to convince you that she never did what she did, or trying to convince you that it wasn't abuse, or that she never abused you, or that, you know, she's changed, or that she's lovely, or she's super nice, or whatever, because that means she's gotten to them. By her treating them well, or treating them better than the way that she treated you, is creating a barrier between you and your siblings. Because because what they're gonna do is, oh, well, that couldn't be possible because her and I have a great relationship. Or, well, she would never do that because she's changed. She's nice. Oh, well, she never treated me like that. Okay, motherfucker, that's you. That's your ass. Like, congratulations. I'm glad you got the mom that I wanted. Bitch. Sorry, I got a little heated, but but that's her goal in this. That's her goal. She's creating a barrier between you and everybody else. She wants to keep you separate because you left. And obviously, leaving was the best option for you. Do not regret that you left. Because again, we'll refer back to the diagram. Are you doing the right thing? Oh, son of a bitch. I hate when I do that. Are you doing the right thing? If it's good for you, then the answer is yes. You are doing the right thing. And the right thing was leaving. Okay. What else? What else do I have in here? We just read that one. Okay, I think we have our last one for the evening because we've almost been streaming for 3 hours, and that's normally my cap. It's normally my limit. So we'll do this last one here, and we will call it a day. Okay. Same person as confession number 5. The event that led to my okay, this is a part 2. This is the same person. Okay, sorry. The event that led to my suicidal ideation was being locked in my room in the year 2020. My mom was moving our trailer to a new location, as I was the son who performed most of the labor to complete the installation. When we were moving the furniture, I had a horrible coughing fit and my strength was gone. My mom immediately accused me of faking the issue to get out of work until it persisted for minutes. When she thought it was COVID, I was brought to my room and then quarantined me there. Basically no electricity and no running water, with some strange cough that made me lose my breath from walking up 4 steps of stairs. My mom and sister went off to live in the hospital housing. Okay. My mom and sisters went off to live in the hospital housing an hour away because she is a lead nurse in the next town over. For 3 weeks, my uncle left me food at my windowsill as I was enclosed in my room. The insulation by... Sorry, my voice. The insulation by the 3rd week made me grab my rifle and place it under my head, put pressure on the trigger before asking myself to go on for one more day. Okay. Yeah. As I've said previously, it sounds like she's already made a decision. Yeah. Cutting her off. I'm not sure how you feel about your other siblings. Not sure what the relationship is like there. Like I said, I hope it's at least well. But yeah, cutting off the mother at least is obviously your best option. Is the right thing to do. I mean, the relationship that your other siblings and your mother have, understand that relationship is not going to change, because now she's keeping them in a tighter knit. Because now that you've left, now that you're the straggler, she's going to try and keep them as close as possible, because now she thinks you are going to start planting seeds to get them away from her. So she's going to keep them as close as she possibly can to keep you away. And that's just how I personally see it, considering this type of stuff happens frequently. This type of dynamic happens a lot. Obviously, I'm glad that you did not commit suicide. I'm sure there are a lot of other people that are happy you're still alive, happy that you're still on this earth. Oh god, sorry, I smacked the shit out of my microphone. 988. Oh, that's new. I didn't realize they changed the suicide crisis lifeline. Okay, but anyway, and if anybody else is experiencing suicidal thoughts or ideations, there is help. You are not alone, and there are people that do care about you, and people that do want you to keep going and keep living. So, please live another day. live another day for yourself. And understand that times do get better. And you will prevail. You will heal. You need to allow yourself the time to heal. And that is the stream. We are all done. If I did not get to your confession in this stream, I will be holding another confession counseling stream next month. And if you do have something you want to share or submit, then please feel free to join the Discord and feel free to submit your entries for next month's confession counseling stream. Thank you everybody who came and said hello and everybody who watched the stream. I will see you next time.